Welcome to Garage 419. My name is Matt Farah. You already knew that. Today on Garage 419, I have a very special guest. A man who's been in the car business so long, the Edsel was originally supposed to be called the Leo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Leo Parente. How you doing, man?
Good to be here. Thank you very, very much.
Leo has been an automotive consultant, has worked in the auto industry for a really long time, and today we're talking about American cars all day, right?
American cars.
American
Here we go.
cars. Are they? Well, let's start off with the question of the week from last week. I posed.
Back
it up. Yeah, we're gonna stop American cars for a second. The Audi TT. Last week I asked you, the viewers, is the Audi TT cool? Is it not cool? And if it's not cool, what would it take to become cool? And we got lots of comments. I got lots of emails. The general consensus was that with 350 to 400 horsepower, a little more aggressive body kit, and maybe a little lighter weight, the TT has potential to be cool, although most of you thought it was a chick car, which is okay. So, Leo, talk to me here. Muscle cars, they're coming back, okay, and at the absolute worst time, to the point where GM is kind of bailing on it in the Camaro and saying, look, this isn't going to be a muscle car. What's your take on that?
Well, you know, they've caught themselves in a quandary. Here we are launching cars called Camaro, called Challenger, to compete with Mustang. And now we're playing this denial game where we're not going to call it a muscle car when that's what they were. That's what they began.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the same denial that a married guy uses when he claims he's not cheating on his wife because he used a condom with his girlfriend and claims he didn't touch her. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a muscle car. It's a Mustang. It's a Camaro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to build a new sports car, fine. That's all well and good, and I like new sports cars. But why even bother using the name Camaro, making it look like a retro future 69 Camaro, and then being like, no, this isn't a muscle car?
Well, there are two problems here that have happened. Number one, it's too easy to look at the auto industry and claim that they're planning by just looking at the hood of the car, not down the road.
Short-sightedness.
I mean, short-sightedness. They had the plan for these cars at a time when they thought the world was one way.
Right.
Now the world's different. But the reality is history, again, maybe is going to tell us another good story. Because while we all remember Z28s and Bosses, the reality is the first Mustangs, Camaros, and Challengers, they were selling a full mix. There were more V6 Camaros. There were more, well, six-cylinder Camaros at the time and I6 Mustangs than there were Boss engines and 427s. It's the same scenario. We're just fixated on this terminology now, but nothing's going to really be any different.
Right. Well, do you think another problem with it would be that when they started developing these cars, you know, the newer ones anyway, I mean, gas was cheaper, and they really thought the horsepower war wasn't going to end. The retro future thing when they released the newer Mustang was just huge, so they put all this technology into a new muscle car, and now they just kind of have to bail because they're catching such a bad rap for fuel mileage.
Well, I guess I look at it as, I'm not sure bail is the right word. I fear that they're busy looking at competition among themselves, you know, cannibalism, Mustang versus Camaro versus Challenger.
Yeah.
It's more cannibalistic than, I don't know what, a soccer team flying over the Andes, but that's another joke for another time. My point is,
I just got that.
Thank you. While they're worried.
That's awesome.
Okay, good, thanks. While they're worried about each other, the real reality is there are things like an Accord Coupe. There's an
you got the Altima Coupe, RX-8. You've got the G37 Coupe. I mean, all the Japanese and the lesser expensive European coupes
BMW
out there.
1?
Yeah.
So the question is, who's going to buy these? I mean, I do not have the numbers in front of me, but I wonder who buys a Mustang V6.
Yeah.
Where does the trade come from? Is Camaro being stylish? Is it going to be competing for that buyer? Or is someone going to be looking at a BMW 1, an Altima Coupe, and all these other stylish import cars? Where are
well, they're going to have to, I think they're going to have to make the V6 attractive enough that it's going to draw buyers from those, you know, those brands, and they got a challenge up for them. Well, let me ask you another question. Why is it, do you think, that the Europeans and the Japanese have figured out how to make a fun economy car, whereas it seems that the Americans have two categories, fun cars and economy cars, and it seems like all the fun cars have V8s in them?
Well, we could discuss about their environment, European, foreign gas and all that stuff, but I think it's fundamentally a mindset. Somehow the Europeans and the Japanese have decided that car is car and it needs to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it feels like in America, we've kind of cut it into two pieces of the pie. I don't know why.
Because, I mean, the Miata came out, what, 20 years ago almost? 18, 19 years ago.
88,
You know, you've
89.
got, I mean, the Mini, which goes back to the
Becomes tough.
60s, you know. Is it just that the fuel prices have been so much higher in Europe for so long that they were forced to make these adaptations earlier?
I think it's the automotive mindset. I think it's the reason why, you know, Honda's known as an engineering company, because it's in their head. This is what they want to do. They want to make a car a total car, not an economy version of something else.
Well, that's the other thing is that a lot of times you have the you know, with a car like the Mustang, you're going to have the economy version. You've got the 6, and then you've got the sport version, which is the 8. And when we come back on Garage 419, I want to talk about how we can make that 6 into a sport version. Stick around. What's up, guys? Do me a favor. Check out Factory, Spike TV's new original comedy series about a couple of guys who really know how to slack off at work. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. Sunday nights at 10. I'll be there. Welcome back on Garage 419. Leo Parente, automotive consultant and just all-around awesome, well-educated car guy. I love having him in the office, right?
Busy sucking up to me, thanks. So Matt, here's my question.
Yeah.
We were talking off camera, and we're talking here. It looks like this muscle car thing is V8 versus V6, and I don't get it. You love Audis. There's a new Audi performance car coming out. They're replacing the V8 with a V6.
Yeah, the new S4.
That's the one.
Supercharged.
Okay. So my question to you is, do you care that the old one was a V8 and the new one is a V6? Or would you drive the new one?
Absolutely. I don't think that a sports car has to have a V8. I like V8s, I do. But the S4 in particular just ate gas like no other. I had one and it was just a thirsty, thirsty pig. The problem is though, with the American car companies,
go ahead.
When you got we'll take a V6 Mustang, and I mean the V6 Challenger and V6 Camaro will probably be kind of the same way. The V6 is almost like the GT is the complete car, whereas the 6-cylinder is kind of the stripper version. So they take away a lot of the extras. Not pole dancing stripper. I mean, it's got less stuff on. I can spot a V6 Mustang from all the way down the road, and I don't think they've taken.
You can spot it because you can hear it.
Or you can hear it. That's the other problem.
Go ahead.
Is that the American companies, for some reason, haven't figured out how to make a really good sounding V6. Think Nissan, think 350Z, think Infiniti. They have the same engine in their entire model lineup, and in every single car, they found a way to make it sound a little bit different and pretty awesome, right?
So the bottom line is just make a car that does good car things that are fun to drive.
Right.
And it really doesn't matter whether it's a 6 or an 8
No.
or 2 hamsters and whatever.
I mean, they can make 6-cylinder cars fast. I mean, a lot of the 6s now are putting out more power than the 8s were 5-6 years ago.
Well,
so you can have a fast 6-cylinder car, but the feeling of the 6-cylinder car, it's got to feel fun. You know what I mean? It's got to sound good. It's got to have the steering wheel and the shifter the things you touch and the things you hear and the senses of the car should really be sporty.
So if we're preaching anything, attention to detail.
Right.
And make the car a complete car that does what a car is supposed to do.
Right. And I mean, I think that the Americans will figure out a way to make a fun economy car. They've almost got it with the Solstice. It's a little bit heavy. I mean, but they're getting there. And the Solstice Coupe is pretty cool looking. You know, and the new, when they're bringing the European Focus over finally, I mean, it's about time for that, right? 2010 or 11, they're going to bring over the Euro Focus. So I think they're going to get it, but I just think that they need to figure out how to make the V6 instead of just lesser than a GT model, make that a car that sells because it's lighter on its feet, you know?
See, my point is, it doesn't matter what the engine is. If the horsepower is right, if the power to weight is right, if the efficiency is there,
right.
if it sounds good the way you mentioned,
yeah.
if it runs like you want a car to do, it's going to work. I mean, I wonder how many people really know what they're driving. I think it's more about how does it feel? Does it satisfy what you want?
The most important thing is to have a car that looks good and finds a nice balance between efficiency and performance. You know?
Well, we got that solved.
We got that solved. So now just someone up over in Detroit just has to watch this show. Then we're good. What are the odds of that? So the question of the week we liked last week. We got good response. So new question of the week, Leo, and you can start off by answering this one for me. Is it more fun? All right. We'll have a preface here.
Okay.
I've driven fast cars. I've driven slow cars. I've driven muscle cars. I've driven SUVs. Is it more fun to drive a fast car slow, or to drive a slow car fast?
If we are talking on the street, I hate to admit it, hands down, slow car fast.
Right.
My license survives.
Yeah.
If you drive a high performance car on the street, you're barely into the pedal.
Yeah.
If you're driving a slow car fast, it's like a lap of Monaco. It's foot to the floor, charge the corner,
right.
bang the gears. It's more fun.
Right.
I'm still going 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, even Jay Leno said he has more fun driving his three-wheeler Morgan at 35 miles an hour, and it feels like he's going 90. Honestly, I like my Mini. It's not the fastest car out there, but I can just beat the crap out of it and have a lot of fun. Whereas cars like the Vet or whatever else, you can't really use the maximum potential of those cars. So
I fear where we're going is that performance cars, fast cars, are going to be a luxury, like a wooden Garwood boat, and it's just going to be for a purpose away from our normal day of life.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean driving a car in the street can't be fun.
Right. So, what do you think? Leave a comment below. Stop sending me emails because I want everyone to see the comments. So just leave a comment here so everyone can share in our views of this question of the week. Till next time, I'm Matt Farah. Leo, thanks so much for being on the show.
Appreciate the offer.
Hopefully you'll come back.
Hey, I'd love to. I really appreciate it. Hope I did okay, guys.
You did all right, man.
Thanks.
See ya.